as you know, a lot of CEOs have to think both short and long term. Therefore, can you share a moment where you've had to take a significant risk as a leader? And what did you learn from that, particularly when you have to balance that short and long term?
The obvious is during the pandemic, because, we were running food retail business, travel, childcare nurseries, pharmacies, funeral. And I can remember the sort of early days meeting every day with the executive team. So we were meeting 7 days a week, making very fast decisions because we had to abandon the usual protocols and processes. You just couldn't refer things to committees or put them through portals. It was, no, we've got to make decisions fast. And so things such as the travel business went from being very busy, successful business to a real problem overnight because all everybody wanted was refunds. And so, for example, you could have said, actually furlough all of our colleagues and just put an automated email response out there. We made a decision not to do that. We said, actually, whilst it's going to cost us more money in the short term, we will keep our colleagues in place so that our customers that have booked holidays have a real person to speak to. They know what's going on, with a view that they will stay with us in the long term because they'll feel they were treated right through that process and through that time. In our childcare nurseries, we closed 2/3 of our nurseries. But the contracts with parents were quite clear that if that nursery was closed for a reason beyond our control, we could still charge them fees. So contractually we could have done it, but it wouldn't have been fair. So you're making those kinds of decisions, but what's core to it is you make decisions based on your values. There might be small print, there might be contracts, but actually what's fair at the end of the day. And you think about the long term. So, okay, it'll cost me more money today and I'll lose quite a few millions as a result of that decision. But hopefully in the long term, people will remember and they'll think, actually, that's a brand that treated me well during that process. So that's what you're doing all the time. The nurseries that we kept open because they were on NHS sites. And that was a really tough decision because I remember people saying to us, but how can you ensure that the children are 100% safe? And I said, I can't. I don't know enough about this thing. But what I do know is it appears to be affecting older people and the NHS are in the front line. And so if we don't open those nurseries, those doctors and nurses, they can't go into work potentially, or they're going to find it harder. So you're just weighing up decisions all the time. And I think you've got to think about where your values set and what's core to that when you make the decision.